Hey guys, coming at you with another Unity tutorial. So today we're going to be looking a little bit more at this rigid body here that we have on this sphere right here, and what we could do with it and how we could actually make the motion of the ball better. So if you remember at the last video, we left off here to where no matter how much you hold down A or D, it'll always just stop and you have to press it again and again to get the ball to move. And if you guys actually went over the docs like I asked at the end of the last video, you'd see it's actually a pretty simple fix. So all you have to do is just get rid of this down word right here and just say get key. Because what get key down does is it'll register every other key tap that you have, and get key gets the key no matter whether it's held down or whether it's pressed, while get key down is only when you press it initially. So now, if you save this, then go back here, just let the ball move fluidly. Now we might have to change the speed over here, the public float that we have set over here, depending on how fast it goes. Yeah, so here, let's make this point. Let's see how 0.1 goes. And there you go. Now we have a ball moving. That's pretty cool, right? So, this is a sphere, and, a sphere should roll. And if you could tell it's not really rolling, it's just translating its position over here, because that's what we asked it to do. Oh, here, I have to put that back to 0.1. Yeah, so we never actually told this ball to roll. We told this ball to take your position and just move it and not shift anything else. Well, that's where the rigid body comes into play, because the rigid body takes care of all the physics associated with this sphere. So, if you've taken a physics course, you would know that their definition, physics definition of speed is actually velocity, and velocity has both magnitude and direction. So if we want to edit this sphere's rigid body's velocity, now you can tell it's not here, it's actually, you have to do it programmatically. So to get, whenever you want to get a component from a game object, and these are game objects all over here. So let's say we want to get the rigid body from the sphere to do work with it in the code. What we're going to do is we're going to take the name of this over here, right? So rigid body. We're going to type in rigid body. And this is, think of it as another data type, is how I like to think of it. And then you just name what you want, like any other variable. And then, oh, what's this? Okay. So what we do in the start method is whenever the game actually starts to run, this code will run, and it'll only run once. So there's only going to be one rigid body on it, so we don't want to get the new rigid body every time there's a frame update. We can just get it at the beginning of the game and we'll be fine. So what we do is we do RB, which is this rigid body, equals. So now you do get component, and then pick this one down here with the greater than less than signs. Let's call them brackets. And then what you do is you get component rigid body, and then you close this. So let me explain what's going on here. What we're doing is we're assigning the rigid body variable the component that this script is attached to. The rigid body component is what this does. This gets the rigid body component, and it's a method, so that's why you have the parentheses right there. And it assigns RB to that rigid body. So right now what RB has is everything that this rigid body contains, and we could edit the sphere's rigid body. So now let's comment out these two lines. If you don't know how to comment out a whole line, it's just command /, or on Windows I think it would be control /. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit the velocity, right? So like I said, if we do RB dot, and then these are all the things that you could edit in the rigid body. All right. These are all the things that you can edit in the rigid body. So we're going to edit the velocity. And what velocity takes is a vector, because if you've taken physics, you know that our velocity is a vector and not a scalar, which is scalars are only of magnitude, while vectors have magnitude and direction. So this is going to take an x and a y component. So what we're going to do is do new vector 3, and we're going to want this to move. So we had this move at transform.position.x plus speed. So what we could do if we edit the velocity is we could just, the x component be speed, and then we're not going to change the y component, so it'll just be 0. So now whenever we click D, it'll move along the x-axis. Oh, not Safari. It'll move along the x-axis at speed. The velocity will be our speed variable that we could edit over here. So we have it at 0.1 right now. And it'll stay there will be no velocity in the y direction, so it'll just stay on the ground. So now if we do the same thing for key code A, which will just move it left, rb.velocity equals new vector 3 negative speed 0. So now what this does is it takes whatever speed we have here. Let's actually make this 0.1. It takes whatever speed we have here, and it just takes the negative, so it'll move it left whenever we click A. So let's go see how this works. Any day now. Alright, so might need to edit crank up the speed a little bit. Let's make it 1, see how that goes. And now you can actually see I'm not holding down D at all right now. So you can see how the ball is actually still rolling. And there we go, I just clicked A and it's going that way. And now you see you can even tell it's rolling a little bit. You can see the pixels moving around. And then you click A. So yeah, this is usually when you deal with moving things in the game scene, you want to use the rigid body unless it doesn't abide by laws of physics. Like if you want something like stop on a dime, right? Or if you want something to stop really quick, then you wouldn't necessarily use the rigid bodies, since it doesn't abide by the laws of physics, because if you're running at 100 miles an hour, let's say, you can't just stop on a dime. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to actually get this ball jumping in the air. And with the tools that I've showed you here, and using another input, let's say we want to use the space bar, right? So here, we'll do another else if input.get key code .space. And what I want you guys to try is to try and get this ball jumping. So make ball jump. And I'm not going to give you any hints, so I want to see if you guys could get this all on your own. You can try using the velocity. You could try using the transform.position, but I would recommend using the velocity. Personally find it easier than using the transform.position, because you end up having to make it go smooth, and then that's something that I haven't actually taught you yet. So I'd recommend using the velocity and finding a way to make the ball jump at a smooth rate. So like, let's say you want to make it jump up to like here, right? Just regular height. So that's all for today, guys. I'm trying to shorten up the videos a little bit. Probably running around just 10 minutes, which is a good time for our meetings and for other people watching this video. So, again, make sure to leave some comments, like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. And I'm always open for, if you guys have any ideas for new videos or any comments on how to make the videos better, just put them down in the comments. I read any comments that I do get, which are very minimal. So let's bump up the comments a little bit, guys. All right. So yeah, get the ball jumping, and I will see you in the next video.